Hi Cody, it's LBC.
I do, mate. That last caller's fucking clueless, mate.
Well, let's get someone who's not clueless on. I want to get you on.
No worries.
It's a short ad break, so we're back already. So be you now, Cody.
No worries, mate.
4850. Don't swear on the radio, Cody.
It is in Edgware. I don't think anybody should be kept in prison forever. You're the first person today, Lloyd, to say that life means life sentences aren't appropriate. I've done a lot of time, and the people that are calling you, they have no idea what prison is like. Death would be a relief, says Lloyd. And indeed, the levels of suicide within British prisons is at an all-time high. Another text to 84850. Surely the victim of any violent crime and their families are left with a life sentence themselves. I was only the subject of a burglary when I had the tools of my trade stolen, but that has blighted my life for the past 30 years. I cannot even guess how they must feel. Andrew is tweeting at LBC and at the Spur Show. We have UK citizens who are homeless and sleeping on the streets, some of whom are war veterans who were willing to take a bullet for the crown, but now find themselves struggling to make ends meet. Don't waste taxpayers' money rehabilitating this evil woman. Who just joined us, Rose West, the murderer of 10 women and girls, has launched, or is thought to be launching, a campaign for her release. She initially was given a 25-year sentence. Jack Straw, when he was the Home Secretary, changed that to a whole life tariff. This morning, I'm asking you whether anybody is completely beyond rehabilitation and whether whole life means life sentences, are ever appropriate. 03456060973. Cody's in Manchester. Hello, Cody. What have you got to say?
I do, mate. All right. Yeah, I'm a former prisoner, mate. I've been through the system 3 times. The last caller that was making reference to was talking like Myra Hindley was still alive. Ian Huntley's not in a psychiatric unit. He's in Category A prison, Frankland, which is a Cat A facility up in the northeast, County Durham. Peter Sutcliffe is also on that wing as well, the Yorkshire Ripper. Whole life tariffs came in 1983. There's been over 100 cases. Some have been like they've set a minimum tariff for a few of them. The most recent one was Stephen Port, who was also known as the Grindr killer a few years ago. If people are going to ring up and they're going to try and bring you an argument, at least know what you're talking about. I mean, it's a subjective matter, yes, but misleading people, and like, not you, I'm talking about the last caller, it really irritated me that. But yeah, I mean, the longer you're in prison, prison doesn't work, right? And the longer you're in prison, the more criminal connections you make. Whole life tariffs, there are people that probably need to be kept in prison all their life, but personally, I would like to see like a minimum tariff set, and then you've got to go through the parole board if you've engaged whilst you've been in prison, done courses and stuff and things like that. Reference Rose West. She's not. There's no. The only thing that could happen is they could set a minimum sentence for her if they said that it was inhumane and it was disproportionate for the crimes, which obviously it wasn't. And it's a very long-winded situation. It's got to go through the CCRC. The CCRC is the Criminal Case Review Commission. And they've got criteria and hurdles and stuff, and you've got to get over one hurdle to get over the next one. And if you don't get over the next one, they can fail and stuff before they get sent to the Court of Appeal.
You seem to know a lot about it, Cody. I mean, is this a particular area of study of yours, or have you?
Mate, I'm a thick uneducated street kid, mate. All I've got is life experience. I'm a former prisoner. I do a lot of interviews with the media and stuff on prison issues, on the papers, radio, documentaries. And I keep up to date with current affairs, really. And like I say, there are like people like Huntley and Sutcliffe and stuff. Obviously, Sutcliffe was in Broadmoor. Then they said he was sane, so they sent him to Franklin Prison. Prisons are categorized, right? You've got 4 categories. You've got Cat A, which is your high security facilities. Strangeways in Manchester, where I'd actually been. Belmarsh, Franklin, Long Larton, Wakefield.
What ended you up in prison, Cody?
I ended up in prison for remand on a witness intimidation charge, which was later dropped. Assault on police, I say that to my shame and to my detriment and stuff. It wasn't the first time. I'd done it several times before. Again, say that to my shame. I'm reformed. And also for threatening my sister's ex-boyfriend after he severely beat her up. Went to prison, deserved to go to prison. Does prison work? No. It succeeds only in demoralizing you, desensitizing you, dehumanizing you.
So does prison work? No. What about Rose West?
Rose West, mate, when you hear all these stories about she's getting foot massages and stuff like that, mate, I take stories like this with a pinch of salt. I've been in prison. Now, is it softer in a female prison than male prison? I couldn't answer that question, but I've wrote to female offenders and stuff in the system, and I believe that certain prisons have got actually hair salons where prisoners are actually cutting their hair. So I do believe there's an element of truth in that. Rose West should never be released, mate, and if she ever, she won't be released, mate, because like I say, there's a lot of stages to, it's very long-winded to go down the Criminal Case Review Commission, like down that avenue, and it's very long-winded, mate. The reality is, her sentence was, you can challenge, if the sentence is lenient, you can challenge it under a thing called unduly lenient, i.e., as you referred to the kid with a zombie knife. I was shocked with the knife crime deaths in this country. I was shocked when he wasn't jailed and got a suspended sentence. Sometimes you find people that should be in prison aren't in prison, and people that are in prison shouldn't be in prison. I've been in prison with murderers.
Speaking to the press, one prisoner who is a prison colleague, if you can put it that way, of Rose West, says what is worrying is that she probably has a strong case. She comes across as a model prisoner. She'd have a good chance of fooling a parole board, and she still proclaims her innocence.
Mate, that's fine. That's all fine and dandy. You can engage and be a model prisoner, but what the reality is, if you look at what came before, how many people did he kill? 10 people. Rose and Fred. He took his own life, obviously, which good riddance. And she's in a lesbian relationship. She's living up there. She's in Low Newton prison up in Brasside. And the reality is, she can go down. Look at what was it, 1995 when she was sentenced, or 1996? The crimes in and around middle of the 90s. A long time's elapsed. So why would she now challenge it? And try to say that, oh, hold on, this whole life tariff is inhumane. Why now?
Now, just finally, you talked about your own situation.
Yeah.
What rehabilitated you then, if it wasn't prison? You say prison doesn't work. What caused you? I mean, are you on the straight and narrow now, as it were? And how did that? What was it that caused you to sort of see the light, really?
In a nutshell, mate, what it was, on my third and final stretch, mate, I got out on the 10th of February last year. I saw the effect I'm not a mummy's boy, far from it, but I saw the effect my criminality was having on my mum, psychologically, emotionally, and not to mention financially. It was affecting her health. She's got a heart problem. She was stressed. She wasn't sleeping. She's traveling 2.5 hours to come see me on a visit. She's looking after me flat. She's sending me money in. It was taking a toll on her physically, and she was aging, and I felt guilty, man. I went to sleep after that prison visit. I cried my eyes out. I woke up in the morning. I must have had an epiphany between falling asleep and waking up. I walked out of prison. I made my mother a promise. I will not go back to crime. I cut all my criminal ties with all my criminal associates, friends of friends of friends, because if I had one step on that criminal ladder with fewer police on the streets, I would have been straight back involved in it and straight back to the top of that ladder.
What do you say to people who claim that prison is a bit like a holiday camp with, PlayStations, TVs in the room, sitting around watching Sky all day long? What do you say to them? Because there's no smoke without fire, is there?
Mate, the truth is, right? Prisons are very people, the media fan the flames and misconceptions around prisons and stuff. You see mobile phones in prisons where prisoners are breaking the law and they're doing stuff like that. A lot of people use phones to keep in contact with their loved ones because the prison phone's so expensive. A PlayStation.
They're talking about putting more phones in cells now.
Yeah. I welcome the idea, but what's the point in doing that if prisoners can't afford to use it? Not everyone's got a support network that's sending them money every week so they can put money on the phone, which for me is extortionate prices on the prison phone. But yeah, PlayStations, I think that people under the illusion everyone's got a PlayStation 4 and you get given them. No, you get PlayStation 2 you've got to earn the right to buy that PlayStation by being a model prisoner, by not being in any trouble and things like that. So prisons full of death, misery, despair, frustration and suicide, self-harm, people covered in their own excrement, mental health. It's a bleak picture, and anyone that's thinking about going down the criminal route, please don't, because it's not worth it in the long term.
Cody, thank you for all of that inside information, really, on 03456060973. It's good to have that knowledge from somebody who's experienced.
Sorry
Cody,
for me passion, mate. I was fuming.
No, that's fine. Thank you for coming on, and I didn't want to put you on at 7 minutes past because I knew, 20,
I know it's a short
21.
spot. I know it's a short spot. Anyway.
No, I wanted to wait till now so we could do the whole quarter with you. So that's fine.
Gentlemen, anyway.
No worries. I know we've had you on before as a guest, so I've just taken
mate,
your number.
I used to be your go-to guy for prisons, mate. But
well, yeah, I put your number. I'm quite new here, so I put your number in my contacts list if you don't mind.
Yeah, man, no problem at all, mate. No problem.
So, Cody, thanks for calling. Do call again if you want to contribute on this sort of stuff.
I'll be listening anyway, mate. I'm going to go back to listening to the call now on my app. On the
Cheers.
Speak to you
no worries.
Take care.
Have a good evening. Bye.